Abuse and domestic violence leave deep-seated scars on those who suffer at the hands of abusers. South Africa's rates of abuse increased exponentially during the initial stages of lockdown in 2020, further highlighting the scourge the country faces. We speak to one such survivor, Lerato Mileng, author of Stained but Untainted, Confessions of Domestic Abuse. Lerato, good afternoon. Thank you for speaking to us. I suppose courage is one of those attributes that you have. Tell us about your story.
Afternoon, Hugo. Thank you for having me. Hello?
Did you hear my first question?
No, sorry. Can you pose it again?
Yeah, please tell us about your story, Lerato.
Okay. As you've mentioned, I'm Lerato Mileng. When it comes to gender-based violence, I'm one of those who have experienced it for most parts of my life. I grew up in it. I witnessed it as a child happening to my mother, and throughout the process, I was not even aware how the lifestyle was imprinting itself on me. I found myself growing up into a young woman who falls into the same trap, of gender-based violence, choosing a partner that reflects the man that raised me, or my mother's partner.
Now, you talk about it being a trap. Can you expound on this?
It is a trap because in most cases, some women, when they find themselves in such a situation, it's very difficult to come out. And at first, it's not so evident that that is what you will find within that relationship. When the relationship begins, it's all rosy. In most cases, men who do this are very charming. So you'll be lured through the charm. But even though there are certain traits that they embody or they show, the charm will probably lure you in, and you end up not seeing other important elements. And then once you are within such a space, it's very difficult to come out, especially if you are like me, having grown up in such a lifestyle. It becomes a norm easily because you are used to it. It reminds you of home. It reflects your childhood experiences. That's how I see it as a trap.
But do we not expect that if you're growing up in a situation where you're abused, that you are likely to want to run as far as possible away from this?
Well, that would make sense if you think about it logically. I remember I used to hate it a lot. I used to want to run away from home as often as I could. But the psychological effects of it would lead you to have a different reaction, depending how it affects you. For me, particularly, in that process, I did not realize that it was, affecting me in that way. But I found myself being attracted to men who reflect the traits that I used to see at home. So it actually now implanted instead of a push, reaction, I got a pull reaction to it. I was pulled in such a lifestyle because I was so much used to it. And that's how it affected me.